Welcome back. So now we're joined by the creative director of Sangam Arts, Ms. Priya Das. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today. So hey, I think that we do have a pretty good understanding of what Sangam Arts does, but really what I wanted to know is what's your role? Creative director is a big role,
Yes.
and obviously it's a role that has a lot of responsibility. So let's talk about what you do there and how you do it.
Yeah. So, creative director in an arts organization typically means that I choreograph.
Okay.
Creative directors typically choreograph.
Okay.
But my role in Sangam Arts, being that we don't, have a posse of dancers or musicians of our own. We produce events.
Okay.
So my role then becomes, this is my own definition. What I've come up with
All right.
is to provide compelling and demonstrable evidence of the diversity
Okay.
and the synergies that exist in
Okay.
Silicon Valley.
All right.
And that's the mission of Sangam Arts, connecting communities through
All right.
performing arts.
Okay.
And so that's the definition of my role.
All right, so let's talk about that because you said, wait, and I picked up on this, we don't have our own posse of dancers and musicians, and I love the word posse. So how do you then figure out, let's say, okay, all right, here's an event that's coming up and you decide on it. Let's walk through that step and all those steps that this is what we're thinking of doing and this is how we're going to do it, and now we've got to find the people to do it or do it. How do you do all that? I mean, tell me.
Some of it is serendipity,
Okay.
and some of it is planned.
Okay.
For Spring India, for example, the Women Now event
Yeah.
that we are partnering with, for Spring India, what we plan to do is, there is a theme. It's about India
Yeah.
and Indianness.
All right.
But being that we're in Silicon Valley, what we want to do, what we're excited about presenting at Spring India is how has India influenced the art scene in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
So for example, we will have folk dances from
Okay.
India. We will have folk dances between communities
Okay.
in India, because that's
Okay.
typically what you don't see in India, right? So
Right.
in
It's always
Bombay,
usually pretty segregated, like it's
Yes.
Dandiya or it's a Bhangra or it's
yes, each
Bollywood or
region,
whatever.
each
Yeah.
locality
They're always,
will have its own, go-to
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
But we want to bring all of that together
Okay,
at
so that's
Spring
cool.
India. We
All right.
also want to do the influence that India has had on other regions of the world.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, for example, flamenco and Kathak.
All right, that's cool.
Right, and
Yeah.
then we have in India, like if you're from Maharashtra, there's a procession. There's Rath Yatra, right,
Okay.
that everybody's familiar with. There's processions in various Indian states. What we're hoping to also do is prove or show evidence of the parallel, stream of consciousness, if you may, that exists between countries in how people communicate
Okay.
or gather or assemble. So the whole idea behind Rath Yatra or the South Indian Mallari, or just the Dindi from Maharashtra, where there's thousands of people walking to a spiritual or divine head, so to speak.
Right.
There is a certain parallel that we've seen in my research and in meeting with the diverse arts companies here in Africa.
Yeah.
So, in fact, actually, that's a good segue into the show that we just did
Okay.
this weekend, and we're so. It was such a special show because we had overwhelming reactions from both sides of the stage.
Ooh.
So we had an audience that comprised, of the typical Silicon Valley. So we had, like Usha said, we had representative styles from 9 different regions of the world, and so the audience was comprised of that, as well as the artists. And we had actually the procession of artists coming from the audience.
Okay.
And so we want to bring those kind of parallels just in our to further our agenda of showing to everybody how common, the commonality that exists among all of us, and that
Okay.
we are all indeed one.
And once again, this has been an amazing show. I'm inspired, and I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to look up flamenco and Kathak and many other things. And we wish you all the success, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys at Spring India Day to dazzle us, right?
Absolutely.
I'll be there with my mic to yak all and just be hyped up and excited, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You do not disappoint.
No, I know you don't.
Thank
so
you.
Anyways, it's been a great show, and as always, we love to have you like our page, share our notes with everybody that Women Now is here.